Miyamoto Musashi didn't become the deadliest swordsman in Japanese history by waiting for motivation. He never once sat around hoping discipline would arrive. He built it, forged it, like a blade hammered in fire, one strike at a time. And today, I'm going to show you the exact habits he used to destroy laziness at its root, so you can do the same. Most men think laziness is a character flaw, something born into you, something you either have or you don't. That is a lie. Laziness is not who you are. It's what happens when your mind has no system, no code, no structure demanding obedience. Musashi understood this over 400 years ago, and the principles he lived by are more relevant today than ever, because right now, in this era of endless distraction, comfort, and noise, the man who masters himself will dominate everything around him. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't motivation. It's a blueprint. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact framework to burn laziness out of your life, permanently. Let's begin. The first habit. The brutal audit. Before Musashi ever drew his sword, he drew the truth. He looked at himself, his weaknesses, his failures, his patterns, with zero mercy. No excuses, no rationalizing, just cold, honest facts. And this is where most men fail before they even start. They lie to themselves. They say things like, "I'll start Monday. I just need the right plan. I'm not that far behind." Meanwhile, weeks pass, months pass, nothing changes. Musashi's first rule was simple. You cannot fix what you refuse to see. So here is what you do. Tonight, not tomorrow, tonight you sit down in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions. And you write down every area of your life where you've been lying to yourself. Your health, your finances, your relationships, your habits, every single one. This is not a journal exercise. This is a reckoning. You write down what you've been avoiding, what you've been pretending is okay when it isn't, what you know needs to change but you keep pushing to next week. Be specific. Not, "I need to get healthier." That's vague. That's weak. Write, "I haven't exercised in 47 days. I eat fast food 4 times a week. I go to bed at 2 a.m. scrolling my phone." Facts, not feelings. Musashi called this seeing with the eye of the strategist. The warrior who lies to himself about his own weakness is already dead before the fight begins. He doesn't need an enemy. He's already defeated himself. Most men will never do this. That's exactly why most men stay stuck. But you're still here. So let's move to the second habit. Action before emotion. This one principle separates the disciplined from the dreamers. Musashi never waited to feel ready. He never waited for inspiration, for energy, for the right moment. He trained in rain. He trained when injured. He trained when exhausted. He understood something most people never grasp. Your feelings are not commands. They are suggestions, and weak suggestions at that. Think about your own life. How many times have you set an alarm for 5 a.m., heard it go off, and then negotiated with yourself? Just 5 more minutes. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve rest. That negotiation is the moment you lose, every single time. Musashi's approach was brutal in its simplicity. Start the task before your brain has time to complain. Don't think about the workout, just put on the shoes. Don't think about the chapter, just open the book. Don't think about the cold shower, just turn the handle. Action first, emotion follows. Here is the science behind this. When you take action before your brain resists, you bypass what psychologists call the activation threshold, the mental barrier that makes every task feel harder than it actually is. Once you start, your brain adjusts. It stops resisting. It starts cooperating. But you have to move first. Musashi didn't win 61 duels because he felt brave. He won because he moved when others hesitated. He trained his body to obey before his mind could object. That is the warrior's edge. And you can build this same edge, starting tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off. and your mind whispers, "Not today," you stand up anyway. Feet on the floor, no negotiation, no debate. You move, like a man who has already decided who he's becoming. Now, the third habit, and this is the one most people overlook entirely. Relentless basics. We live in a world obsessed with hacks, shortcuts, optimization tricks. Everybody wants the advanced strategy, the secret formula, the hidden technique that will change everything overnight. Musashi would have laughed at this. You know what Musashi did for decades? He practiced the same fundamental sword cuts, over and over, thousands of times. The same footwork, the same breathing, the same basic movements that a beginner would learn on day one. He never stopped practicing the basics, ever. And this is why he was unbeatable. Not because he knew moves others didn't, because he had mastered the simple things so deeply that they became part of his body, his reflexes, his instinct. While other swordsmen chased flashy techniques, Musashi perfected the cut that kills. Apply this to your life. You don't need a complicated morning routine with 14 steps. You need 3 things done every single day without fail. Maybe it's exercise, reading, and focused work. Maybe it's prayer, training, and planning. Whatever your foundation is, reduce it until failure is impossible. Then do those things 1,000 times. The man who does 3 things perfectly every day for a year will crush the man who does 30 things poorly for a month. Here is the trap. About 2 to 3 weeks in, your mind will say, "This is too simple. I need something more." That voice is the enemy. That voice is what keeps most men jumping from plan to plan, system to system, never mastering anything. Simplicity isn't a sign that something is too easy, it's a sign you're doing it right. Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, "Do nothing which is of no use. Strip away everything unnecessary. Keep only what serves you, and practice those things until they are written into your bones." Now, let me tie this all together, because these 3 habits aren't random, they're a system, and they work in sequence. The brutal audit shows you where you actually stand, not where you wish you were, not where you tell people you are, but the raw, uncomfortable truth. This is your foundation. Without it, you're building on sand. Action. Before emotion gives you the weapon to fight the daily war against your own resistance. Every morning, every task, every moment your mind says, "Not now," you override it. You move first. You feel later. Relentless basics ensure you're building something that lasts, not a 30-day transformation that crumbles, not a burst of motivation that fades, a permanent infrastructure of discipline built on simple, unbreakable daily actions. This is how Musashi lived. Not with grand plans or complicated strategies, with ruthless simplicity, with daily execution, with complete refusal to lie to himself or negotiate with weakness. And here is what nobody tells you about discipline. It doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. The resistance never disappears. The voice that says quit never shuts up, but over time it loses its power. Because every time you override it, every time you choose action over comfort, you're proving to yourself that you're not the man you used to be. Musashi once wrote, "There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything you need is already inside you. The question is whether you have the discipline to draw it out. True power is built in silence, not in announcements, not in social media posts about your goals. In the quiet hours when nobody is watching and you do the work anyway, that's where warriors are forged." If this hit you in a way that matters, if something in here woke up a part of you that's been sleeping, subscribe to this channel right now, because this is what we do here. Every single video is designed to sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, and turn you into the man you were meant to become. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Walk the path.